for joining our breakout session on Ubora data submission. I'm LaWanda Graham, a manager on the Ubora team. This session is designed for staff who will be submitting collection and analysis tools to Ubora for their country office. All of the tools can be found on the compact disc that was sent with the Ubora user guide. So make sure you have one of those discs and send an email to us at ubora@care.org if you did not receive one. Let's begin today's session. As Jeff mentioned in the opening session, many changes were made to Ubora this year to reflect all of your great feedback. Although some of the indicators and collection times have changed, the collection process itself remains the same. Let's begin by taking a look at the topics covered in this session. They are how to identify your indicators, collection tools, analysis tools, submitting Ubora tools, integration of additional CO data, and Ubora Online. The first step in submitting a collection tool is to identify the indicators you are responsible for. This will help you plan ahead for your data collection process. Identifying your indicators can be done in two ways when using the FY10 Ubora user guide. The first way is to use the matrix of indicators, which starts on page 11. And the second way is to use the CO reporting requirements checklist, which can be found on page 30 of the user guide. Let's explore the first way, the matrix of indicators. In the matrix, the indicators are listed by impact, program, program support, and resource categories. Using the matrix, you can quickly identify due dates, collection tools, and persons responsible for submitting data to Ubora. You can also see the other indicators that will be collected in the RMU or US. To determine which indicators you are responsible for, look for the column marked Person Responsible, and then look for the indicators that fall within your duties in the country office. It's as simple as that. Now let's take a closer look at the CO reporting requirements checklist. Like the matrix, the CO checklist allows you to quickly identify indicators, due dates, tools, and the person responsible for submission. However, the CO checklist, unlike the matrix, only lists the indicators that are due from the country office. Now that you have identified your indicators, what about the collection tools? There are a total of 6 tools for country offices to use to submit their Ubora data. 5 tools are in Excel, and 1 tool is a survey that will be made available online and offline. The country office collection tools are the Program Quality Assessment Tool, or the PQAT, Safety and Security, Human Resources and GED, Resource Mobilization, IT, and Internal Perspectives. In addition to these tools, there are a couple of analysis reports, which I will talk about later. Collection tools are separated by role or job duty specific to the country office. This makes it easy to identify which collection tools you are responsible for submitting on January and July 15th to Ubora. For example, the IT manager will use the IT collection tool to provide data for all IT indicators. While the types of indicators are different on each of the collection tools, almost all of the collection tools themselves follow the same basic format. When you open a collection tool, you will see an Instructions tab and tabs with due dates listed along the bottom. There will be a tab for each quarter the tool should be submitted. It's important to complete the correct tab for the quarter being submitted. Once you have entered your data, email the entire tool to ubora@care.org. There are a few things you should keep in mind when completing Ubora collection tools. Let's look at a list of things you should do. Read the instructions for each tool before beginning. Select the correct quarter. Select your CO from the drop-down menu. Fill in all of the gold boxes. Enter comments that provide context to the data being entered. This information will be used to inform analysis across COs, RMUs, and Care USA, and then submit the form on January and July 15th to ubora@care.org. Let's take a look at the list of things you should not do. Change the tab names. or make changes to the tool or its formatting. Following this simple list of do's and don'ts reduces the amount of time needed to distribute compiled performance data across CARE for planning, decision-making, and learning. Two of the collection tools follow a different format than the rest. One is the Internal Perspectives tool, which will ask country offices to evaluate the performance of their RMU and the services provided by CARE's U.S. operations. This tool is not included on the compact disc, but will be emailed as a survey that can be answered online or submitted by email. The country director is responsible for completing these surveys, but the responses should be based on their consultation with a broad range of staff. The other tool that's a little different than the rest is the Program Quality Assessment tool, also known as the PQAT. There are two parts to the PQAT. One is a Word document called the Program Quality Assessment tool. The other is an Excel file called the PQAT Data Entry Form. These two should be used together for each program or project that the PQAT is applied to. The Program Quality Assessment Tool Word document includes the detailed instructions on how to apply the tool. On the last page is a guide that will help you to determine which section of the tool needs to be applied to your program or project. By clicking on the Word icon next to the part of the tool you need to apply, a new document will open that has the specific questions that should be discussed. The facilitator can input his or her notes on this page, which will help give additional insight to the ACD program quality and other CO colleagues. Some of the questions are marked with an asterisk. The answer to these questions should be input into the corresponding tab of the PQAT data entry form. Most of the questions that need to be entered on the data entry form are basic information, the actual rating given for each question, and a brief summary of why the team gave the rating. This data entry form is the only information that is needed at the global level and should be submitted to ubora@care.org. Additional notes and explanations in the Word document are for the use of the CO and does not need to be submitted.